Hello friends, I want to talk to you a little bit. Maybe you can help me to give me an advice how I am supposed to release this information. Not only on this channel here, but so most people will get it. And you know, I don't want you to watch my face. I hate my face. I hate doing camera. So I might turn the phone on Steve, but I talked with a person, myself, that works for FEMA actively now and has sources from people who work for government who were involved with building dumps, okay, which is underground bases in the United States. And they're whistleblowing to humanity. Unfortunately, information got to us, and why I say unfortunately is because at this point it's better to be totally ignorant. That's how bad the information is. It's better not to know. And it sounds like scaremongering or fear-mongering, but we know that Jesus can turn this around and turn it all on those who are planning against the people of the United States and Europe and the world, all of these things. First of all, before we go into this, I want to tell you who is behind this. And it's the best ally of the United States. Yeah, Israel. You got it. It's Israel. Remember how they were saying to you, all these pastors, that bless Israel and you will be blessed? It doesn't work like that. That's not what the Bible says. That's not what it means. Because if that was true, there is no country that blessed Israel more than the United States. And I'm talking about money and support in general. American Christians pouring money into Israel, support, almost worship-like manner. And somehow God is not blessing us, does He? No, this country is not blessed. Yet we did bless Israel. How much money did we give them a year, Steve?
Millions.
Billions. Billions. Our taxpayer dollars were poured into Israel. Our children went to fight for their causes and their wars. It was never for freedom. It was always for Israeli interests. Okay? But they're done with us. They're done, and they want their redemption and their world rule. That's the truth. And they actually hate Christianity, and they hate those Christians that were helping them, and they're done. And they want to destroy this nation and Europe and other nations and create their new world order, just as was the plan from the very beginning. Balfour Declaration and this whole thing of creating State of Israel and putting Zionism virus into Christianity, that was all pre-planned. So all of this can happen now, and Jerusalem one day can be the headquarters of their new world, of their earthly kingdom with their Messiah installed. There is so much I want to tell you on this, and I don't know if I can right now, but I will try. What I want to tell you is that I talked personally. Now traveling, I called up the person and I asked that person, please talk to me again and again and tell me slowly again and again all of the details. And I can't put my sources out because I have to protect my sources. I asked the person for any way that could be done that this information can be given to you from the person's mouth directly, and the person said no. So now I have to do it. Steve been trying to do it, but I want to tell you that it's number 7 source now. 7th person that is in the know directly from government. So what I want to say is that second lockdown will be permanent. There will be no coming out of it. That's what the person said. This is how FEMA is trained now. They know that there will be no coming out. And they're making everything happen now, and they're making their people, they're preparing them and training them very heavily. So first lockdown and this whole corona hoax was a live exercise, because government was measuring how much does it take to lock every city down, how people react, what the resistance would look like, how much they can buy their hoaxes, and how the fear-based mind control works, and how they can fool everyone to pull their agenda, because they are done with United States. It's over. Friends, it's over. There is no more United States. We are living our very last days here. Sisters, it's the last days of putting on lipstick. It's the last days of taking your family for dinner. Okay, this is what I want to say to you. The second lockdown will be permanent. The person told me, wherever you are at the second lockdown, plan on either dying there or surviving there if possible, depending on how prepared you are. There will be no movement, zero movement allowed, until they roll out vaccinations, which will be completely 100% mandatory. And I'm talking about operation house to house. And they're going to be vaccinating everybody. The reason is definitely not corona. The reason is put inside of us some kind of a tracking device so they can find survivors of the cataclysmic event that is about to take place. This is what the person told me. And the person agreed to write up the entire scenario that is being prepared, and I will be allowed to release it to you with Steve in stages. I mean, as depending on how much time the person has, because the person is not a writer, but that's the only way that that person can help us, is to write things down and I can read it off. I'm just telling you what I memorized from what we've been talking about several times already. And well, anyway, the cataclysmic event are asteroids, according to government. Okay, and I know a lot of you are flat Earth believers, and you don't believe in asteroids. Well, call it pre-planned event or whatever it is. I'm not going to argue with anybody about shape of the Earth. This is not going to divide me from my brothers and sisters. So I'm not here to argue about that. There is much more important things to worry about right now than arguing about shape of the Earth, you know. So asteroids, according to our sources, 7 sources directly from government, it's asteroids. At first they're gonna be coming in supposedly slowly but gradually increasing until it will be several weeks, even months of constant asteroid showers. The Earth supposedly will be devastated mostly United States and Europe, major earth changes, floodings, volcanoes, earthquakes. I mean, the person is going to write it up even in a more detail for you. But while these asteroids are coming, they're planning on tactical nukes on certain cities. Pre-planned, all pre-planned. Not all cities, but major cities. They want to wipe out United States population. And after this event, there will be rescue missions or missions under rescue thing, pretense, not done by American troops, but Chinese, Russian troops and UN troops in general, which will be basically coming for their resources, because apparently our land is so bankrupt that most of the land that your house is on or my house is on is already parceled and given to either Russians or Chinese. So they're coming for what's theirs. That's what the person said. Well, no, that was the other person, but anyway. So it will be under rescue missions. They might bring some food for survivors, ration food, but it won't be for that. It will be for resources, and they're actually not rescue missions. What it will be is that they want to basically separate the surviving families, take children, re-educate few that are capable of re-educating, and eliminate the rest. They have a certain number of population they even need. They don't even need Americans. So this is what the person was telling me, and even into more details. And I've been talking here with Steve and trying to kind of figure out what's happening, what is going to happen to believers. And I believe that this is the plan of the enemy, and it's not just, these are not humans doing this. Do you realize what kind of operation is going on right now? The brainwashing and hoax of Corona. Corona means crown, Keter in a Kabbalah, very top in a Kabbalah tree. This is something they have pre-planned, because the Jews, the elites, the ones that want to rule the world, you know, they have this doctrine of tikkun olam, and their doctrine, the redemption, is not about them being redeemed from sin by Jesus. In their doctrine, it's them who will get the earth domination, and that's their redemption, that they're gonna own the earth, headquartered in Jerusalem, and they're going to rule the Gentiles, and Gentiles will be slaving them. This is their doctrine. This is what Zionist pastors have been teaching, or leading Christians who supported Israel. That's what they have been doing. This was hoax. This is not Christianity, okay? And some of the pastors are already quitting ministries because they are being transferred to safety, because they know what's coming and they sold out their flocks. If you don't know who the pastors are, just watch out for those who are giving their ministries away, and they are leaving for safety. And we had one source talking to us, and guess what? These pastors have a plan. They'll be picking up people with planes. The pastors will be picked up by airplanes and transferred to Israel. Can you believe this? Leaving their flocks here for the hell, basically, for all of this that they're planning on this population here in the United States. But they're going to safety themselves. So this is what's going on, and I believe that Jesus has a different plan, and all these plans of the enemy against us here is going to turn around on them. That's what I believe.
Amen.
It will turn around on them. You watch. Even if we go through some bad things in the beginning, and some of us might die, you watch what will happen. Because Jesus will come, destroy them, and He will turn it all around on them and rescue His people. That's what I believe.
You know, Yana, there's one thing I'd like to mention, and that is, even though I've known this for quite some time, I haven't considered it quite this way before. But my Israeli source that was revealing these things that you're talking about now, they would separate families, things like that. They would genocide the people. They'd take you to FEMA camps. He also talked about they would use tactical nukes on this nation. The only part he was not aware of was the incoming asteroids. But what's really interesting to think about, and I shared this with you guys last year, as early as September last year, almost a year ago, I was sharing all that information then. But here's one thing that keeps coming to my mind now, and I really should have pinpointed this even more accurately. The very good friend of his in Israel, he's an Israeli man, young man, about 36 years old. He owns one of the most advanced companies in the world that has been working on some type of genetic experiment things where they merged AI technology with the human genome. But here's what I was not honing in on, even though I've said it 1,000 times probably. This man told my friend that's in the intelligence field that he was working with entities with 1,000 plus IQ. 1,000 IQ. Aliens, demons, fallen angels. Do you realize that he is saying that the Israeli government is working with reptilians? I never quite took that perspective. I knew this all along, yes. I've always said this is what the Israeli government is doing. But that is an actual 100% proof right there that the elite of the Israeli government is involved with the reptilians. So you can imagine what our end will be, other than Jesus Christ Himself rescuing us from Satan. Thank you.
Thank you.